Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, we're going to continue on in terms of the optimizations we want to go ahead and make for these campaigns we're going to be launching up. And the reason that I say campaigns is we're going to actually have multiple now. So this is something that we've been doing over the past, say, 6 to 8 months, and it's been working really, really well. So we want to go ahead and essentially share it with you so that you can implement it as well and see much better success with your ads. So what you want to go ahead and do is the very first optimization is we want to run that campaign that we just launched. And whenever we launch up a new campaign, we want to run it for at least 7 days and don't make any optimizations until those 7 days are up. Now, if your campaign is not profitable after those first 7 days, go ahead and turn it off. If it is profitable, then go ahead and let the rules that we're going to go ahead and set up in the future video, go ahead and let the rules scale it up then. Now, what does profitable mean? Well, profitable means if your cost per purchase is under whatever your product price is over those 7 days, then it's profitable. Good to go. We can let it continue to run. If it's not, then you want to go ahead and cut it and repeat the process and launch up a new campaign. Now, for optimizations for the campaign, what we want to go ahead and do is make sure to turn off any ads if the cost per purchase raises above 1.5x the product price over a 14-day period. So what does that mean? That means if we're in our campaign in here and we are looking at the last 14 days, and then we're looking at cost per result, if any of them are 1.5x, whatever your product price is, so that would mean your product price is $20, cost per result is $30, then you want to go ahead and turn off that ad. That is, though, unless your cost per result over your entire campaign is under the product price. So you do not want to turn off the ad if the overall cost per result of the entire campaign is under your product price. It's very, very important. If it is above, if your cost per result is above your product price, then you want to make those optimizations. Now, another piece is if you have already cut 2 or more of the ads in the campaign and the overall active campaign cost per result is still not under your product price over the last 14 days, then go ahead and cut the entire campaign and you're going to want to launch a new one. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's say that we have turned this ad off because it was not doing well, and we turned this ad off because it was not doing well. So what you'd want to go ahead and do is if those 2 ads are off, is you'd head into the campaign, into the ad set, click on the ones that are active, and then you'd filter by selection. So type in filter by selection. Select those, look at last 14. If it's profitable and it's under your product price, good to go, keep it running. If it's above, cut the campaign, and we'll start with an entirely new ad set. It's going to give you a much better chance to succeed in the future if we just cut it now. Now, those are the only 2 real optimizations that we need to go ahead and use for you to go ahead and be successful. We really narrowed it down to those 2. Now, in terms of launching new ads, so you may wonder, well, where do I launch new ads? Well, what you're actually going to want to go ahead and do is 14 days after your previous campaign has been launched, so your very first one, we're going to go ahead and launch a new campaign following the exact same structure that we just did with either a stronger scene within that same book, preferably a stronger scene within that same book, or another book in the bundle. I would always recommend to start with a stronger scene in that first book, then another book in the bundle. The reason I always say that is because that first book typically does work the best. And so I'd always recommend to start with that. If you ran out of scenes in there, or if you have a really, really great scene in another book in the bundle that you know, preferably within at least the first 4 books in the bundle as well. But if you have another really great scene, I recommend using that as well. And you're going to want to make sure that it's all completely new ad copy, new images, new videos, new carousels, and you'll want to structure this the exact same way that we set up the previous campaign and go ahead and launch this up. And it's it's vitally important that we take your time over these 14 days to really start to work on the ad copy. Everything starts with the ad copy. We're telling the story and we have to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. So I always recommend make sure to send it to people, send it to friends, send it to other authors, fellow authors, and have them read it. Ask them to be honest as well. That's so important to say, does this intrigue you? Does this make you want to read more? And be like, and ask them to get into the spirit of someone that's actually buying from you in terms of they're just scrolling through as an ad. They see this on their feed. Does it intrigue them? Does it grab their attention? Does it hook them in? Does it make them need to read more? And remember that ad copy is where a vast majority of the results are going to come from. So make sure you spend a majority of the time focusing on writing that and researching that as well. So make sure to send it to others to review it so there's no confusion in the scene and that intrigues them. Because the number one thing that I see when it comes to launching new ads is that we have a feeling that just a new ad will just change everything. When it's so far from the truth. That's not the case. When it's just, if you're trying to just put as many quantity ads up, if we're just trying to put as many quantity ads up, like we're just trying to throw ads in and be like, I hope this works, I hope this works, I hope this works, typically it's not going to work. Best case scenarios that we see with our ads is literally ads and ad copy that we work on for like a week of just one scene. We're just essentially breaking down every aspect. How can we make this hook stronger? How can we make the middle piece more intriguing? How can we make the cliffhanger stronger? Those are the ads that we actually have the best success with. It literally takes us 7 days to go through one piece of ad copy and break it down. So I highly recommend to at least spend at least 10 to 20 minutes per day, just looking at the ad copy, seeing what you think you can make better about it, building out the new campaign, finding the videos, making sure the placements, the text on the videos, on the carousels looks nice. Because once you have these performing campaigns, if you have the right ad copy, the right videos, the right image. I mean, we've had campaigns where we don't have to touch it for months because they just continue to perform because they were set up correctly from the beginning. So very, very important to set those up from the beginning, and it's going to save you so much time in the long run as well. Now, with the new campaigns, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is, as you saw with the template, by the way, where we said book name number 1, as you launch up new campaigns, just like if you put that same book name, you would have number 2, obviously. So that's why we have that number 1 there. So you can always change that to number 2, 3, 4, 5, however many campaigns we have. Now you're going to go ahead and continue to repeat that process above of launching new campaigns, wait the 14 days, and then launch a new campaign. The only time that you don't have to wait those 14 days in terms of launching a new campaign is if the campaign did not perform in that 7-day period and you cut it after the 7 days. Then you can go ahead and start getting up a new campaign as soon as possible. But if it did perform, you want to wait those 14 days still. And you're going to continue this process until we have 3 campaigns in total for the US. After you have these 3 campaigns, this is when we will be making optimizations in terms of cutting ads if they are above and letting things run. The only time that we want to launch a new campaign is if our campaigns begin to underperform. So what does an underperforming campaign mean? That means that the budget has decreased to below $15 per day. That is when you want to go ahead and just cut that campaign and start out with the new campaign. Now, in terms of the rules, we're going to go ahead and get into that in the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and leave all of this down below. So make sure to go ahead and go down below. Make sure to go through everything completely step by step, following this as we're launching up the new campaigns. And then in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and see you in the actual rules portion. So I'll go ahead and see you there.